Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Amber's Apron. A few weeks ago, maybe a few days ago, time flies when you're having fun, I posted on my Facebook page a picture of some cinnamon rolls that I had made, and I got a lot of you all saying that you wanted to see a video. This is a super easy recipe. I know a lot of people get a little intimidated by working with yeast because yeast can be scary. But this is really, it's such an easy recipe. It's not like you're gonna mess anything up. So I will post the recipe in the description. Follow it, it's amazing. And this little trick, this is what I'm doing. As you can see, it's dark outside. I am making this at night because in the morning, I'm gonna get up and I'm just gonna pop them in the oven, ice them, and take them to church to feed our church crowd. So these are super easy. The recipe is very forgiving. And the recipe in the description will say you'll have to rest the dough several times throughout. If you do it at night, you don't have to. So the recipe is what you'll follow if you're making these at one time. What I'm doing tonight, I'm making this in two parts, just for the convenience factor. So if you're going to do it like I am, do as I say, not as I do, or do as I do, not as I say in the description, whatever. Let's get started. So I've already gotten my dry ingredients, which I shouldn't have put this together, but as you can see, I've got my flour, I've got my sugar, I've got yeast in here, I've got salt. Let me tell you a little trick on the yeast. I know it's easy to buy those little 3-packs. However, I get better results every time when I use the jar that you keep in the fridge. And it's kind of a big jar. It's a little pricier than the 3-packs. But if this is something you find yourself making a lot, like this is, I make this pretty frequently. They're so stinking good. It's worth it to buy the jar just because it's fresher. I feel like it's fresher. And I know there's probably no difference between having it in a jar and having it in a pack. I just feel like my dough rises better when I use the jar. So food for thought there. But I've got everything and I'm just gonna give it a quick little stir. And what I've done, when y'all weren't looking, I heated up my milk. I heated up my milk and my butter. And I melted my butter down in it. And then sometimes, you know, you can get a little hot. You want it between 110, 115 degrees. So I'm using, this is my candy thermometer that I use for divinity. So I do that just to check it. Because, you know, anytime you boil it, you don't want to kill the yeast because you had it too hot. And all I'm going to do is mix it in. Like I said, super easy. And all this is, it's 3/4 cup of milk and a half a stick of butter, because y'all know I like the butter. All right, now I've got most of that mixed up. It's a little doughy, and the recipe calls for 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. And y'all, I got me some farm fresh eggs here. Oh my goodness, I am just butterfingers tonight. I have an uncle. He just recently had shoulder surgery. And he has been saying he's got butterfingers lately. So apparently it's catching. 1 egg, 1 yolk. Okay, so now I'm going to add my egg mixture. And you want to get it incorporated, but shortly I'm going to switch to my dough hook because I'm going to let the machine work for me. Okay, now I'm going to show y'all what your dough will look like when it's time to add your dough hook. All right, so what I just did, I took my dough hook out. I'm sorry, I took my, you know, beater, like the normal beater out. Because see how I've got it all mixed up? It's very sticky. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add my dough hook, and I'm going to let this sucker knead my dough for me instead of me doing it. And y'all, if you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, you need to get one. And you know, sometimes people sell them on like a marketplace or in some of the little, we call them junkin stores, like little antique stores or estate sales. I have had this sucker probably 17 years. And I use it all the time. And it just takes, so it's just, makes my life easier. And not just for, you know, this. I put all kinds of stuff in here. So what it's starting to do, it's just looking like it looks like slime. Parents, you know what I'm talking about. It's all stuck to the inside of my bowl. And it's very sticky, so I'm going to add enough flour. See that? See how it's not clinging to my dough hook? It's like a hot, sticky mess in here. Just going to add a little bit. Because what I want it to be a ball. I want it to be like, it's not going to be super sticky. It's going to be, you know, like a really big Texas Roadhouse roll. You know, it's going to be like that. It's not going to be super sticky, and that flour is going to help, you know, make it like that. And you'll know it's ready to get out, or you'll know it's ready to stop once the dough starts to kind of pull away from the sides of the bowl. That's when it's, like right now it's still sticking to the sides of the bowl. It's still sticky, so it's not, see how that is? It's still sticking. I don't want it like that, so I'm going to add more flour. This is where you pretty much guess. Most of the time, this is a 1/3 cup. Most of the time I use around that. You can see I've not used a whole 1/3 cup. Sometimes I use a little bit more. And you know, I don't know if it's like humidity. It just depends. Some days I use more, some days I don't. I find that if it's raining or if it's snowy, I end up using a little bit more than normal. And it's so hard to tell you when to stop. It's one of those when you know, you know. And so I'm just trying to describe what I'm looking for. It won't cling to the sides. It'll be more like Play-Doh and less like slime. Boom. Momming 101. I'm momming it today. I do know what slime looks like because I've had to clean it off the walls and the floor and the sofa and the carpet. And little hands. Little hands who wanted to sling it. Okay, now I told y'all it's not going to be sticking. That's how I know it's ready. This thing is just bouncing and bouncing. Voila. That's how I know it's ready. So what I'm going to do, good golly, Miss Molly. So what I'm going to do is take it off of here. And just slide it off. I don't know if y'all can hear my man downstairs. That little wild one. It's almost his bedtime. And they're having a party downstairs. Him and his daddy are having a party downstairs. So I don't know if y'all can hear the banging and carrying on. So what I'm going to do, I'm scraping down the sides of my bowl. You can see it's not super like stuck on in there. But I want to get as much dough as I can. Just don't want to waste any. Waste not, want not. See that? It's Texas Roadhouse roll. Everything pretty well came out. I have a little bit stuck to the bottom, but you can tell it's definitely not sticky like it was. It's not a super wet batter anymore. And I'm just gonna roll it into a ball. My hands are clean. Y'all know I'm a little funny about that. Look at that. And y'all, I love anything yeast, like yeast rolls or sourdough bread, or I love it. You can smell that yeast in there. I'm gonna sit that there. I'm gonna grab me some plastic wrap. I'm gonna cover it and I'm gonna let it rest for 10 minutes. All right, now we're gonna get started on our filling. You can see I've covered up my dough. So excited about this. And y'all, let me just say, I know this is not keto. I know this isn't healthy, but it's so good. So what I've done, I have a softened stick of butter. What I like to do when I soften my butter, I usually take a butter out of the fridge, leave it out all night, and then I can use it the next day. Or like if I'm cooking tonight, I like to lay it out in the morning. I forgot. And what I did, y'all, I saw this on TikTok or something online. You can take a pot of boiling water, like a little kettle of boiling water, and pour it into a tall glass, like a drinking glass, and stand your butter up long ways, and then you just drain the water out of that cup and put it over top and just leave it there for, 5-10 minutes. I did it as long as I was setting everything up. And it softens it perfectly. So it's, it's like I was prepared, even though I wasn't. Story of my life. So what normal people do for cinnamon rolls, they just whip the butter. But y'all know I like to add goo to my recipes. So I like to add, oh good gracious, that's not gonna fit. I like to add a teaspoon, about a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and I do 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in this. And I don't really, it's not like I pack it in there or anything. I just kind of rake it off, so it's not packed. And that is going to give my butter, I don't know. I think it's almost like it makes it more pasty or thicker. So when you spread it on that dough, it just kind of sticks to it. Plus it's got all that flavor in the butter. And then we're going to mix together more cinnamon and brown sugar and sprinkle it over and pat it in there. And y'all, when this cooks, this butter makes like this, it makes like a goo, kind of like Cinnabon. You know how they have that real sticky bottom and like sticky sides? That's how this does. And I really do believe it's because I add this to my butter. It's not just, a melted stick of butter when it cooks. It's actually got some stuff in it. And if y'all are wondering why I didn't use my KitchenAid after just singing its praises, it's because I need the room. I need the counter space so I can roll this out. Y'all see how creamy that is? Look at that. Oh, it's gonna be so good. So see, I mean, you can tell by looking at it. It's not got, a ton of brown sugar or a ton of cinnamon. That's not gonna flavor these cinnamon rolls a lot. Really, it just flavors that ooey-gooey butter. So when we come back, there will be less stuff on my counter, and we'll be ready to roll this. We're gonna roll it, spread it, roll it, cut it. What we're gonna do real quick is make the filling. I told y'all we would be using more brown sugar. I've got a half a cup of brown sugar, a tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Don't leave out the salt. You need that salt to kind of cut the sugar. You're not gonna taste it, but it's just gonna kind of take it over the edge. Never leave the salt out. We all need salt. Salt, salt, salt. So good. So a lot of people will mix it, you know, with a fork or with a whisk. I don't have time for that. I use my beaters. I already had them out. I use my mixer like my mama does. Y'all, when we had cash, my mom and my aunt came down to Georgia. We lived in Georgia. They came down because my older son was in school and Cash was born on a Monday. So they took care of Arian while we were in the hospital because, you know, we were in the hospital for a week. It was a long ordeal. Birth, you know. And so my mom and my aunt stayed down, took care of Arian, came to the hospital, visited me and all that good stuff. And when we were released, they went ahead and stayed the weekend so they could be with the baby. And I was, you know, I had a C-section, and you know how it is, a new mom, you're tired. Plus I was breastfeeding. And so my mom cooked dinner one night, and my husband still talks about, she made mashed potatoes. And he was like, she took that mixer, and she was like, wah! And that is actual, like that is very accurate. My mom's not delicate. So this is my filling. It is, you can see it looks like sand. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna roll that out and we're gonna sprinkle this all over the top of the butter. And y'all, these cinnamon rolls, they're heavenly. Well, I've got a helper.
Daddy, we're making cinnamon rolls.
I got a helper, as you can see.
I'm not saying barbecue corn.
Okay, stop saying crazy stuff. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You are saying crazy stuff. Okay, we're gonna sprinkle a lid.
Crazy stuff, Daddy.
He's saying crazy stuff.
I'm so crazy.
Okay, we don't need a lot of flour. It's not like biscuits. They're not super, the dough is not super sticky. Remember that? It's like Texas
I'm
Roadhouse.
on the video, Daddy.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, Mommy.
We don't know what's gonna happen now.
Look at me on the video.
I see you on the video. You're right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm right up here.
Are you cute?
I'm right up here.
Who do you look like?
I'm Mommy.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, whose boy are you?
Daddy's buddy.
Oh, Daddy's buddy.
I'm getting Daddy and Daddy's buddy.
So this has been sitting here for.
Look, this is dough.
It is dough.
I'm just touching it.
But you have clean hands, don't you?
Look, I'll just get the piece of
No. We got to be easy with this dough.
Okay.
So as you can see, it's not risen a lot, but it has sat there for 10, 15 minutes, give or take.
Daddy, don't like that.
Would you stop? You can see it didn't really stick in my bowl.
Hey, Mommy.
Hey, baby.
Daddy, don't like that.
Oh, she doesn't like to dab?
Nope.
No. So see, you can see this isn't, this is not sticky.
And
So-
I wait at Dad's house.
You did play outside at Don's house.
It's the spill
Do
on
you
the
want, hey, do you want just a little bit of this to roll out? Here, you got to stay over there.
Let me just get the piece of dough.
Do you want to get a piece of dough? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, just a little piece, because remember, this is for church. Oh, my goodness. He likes to help me
I have
cook.
the cutter.
You need a cutter. No,
Yeah.
this is cinnamon rolls. You got to roll it out.
Wow.
So now I got to heal that little spot. Good gracious. I'm just barely sprinkling, just so my roller.
Daddy,
Now, with cinnamon rolls, what you want to do,
what?
okay, listen, you don't want to roll out a circle. You need more flour. Here, raise your dough up. Let's put a little flour here. And then we're going to put a little flour on your roller. You keep that flour over there for you, okay? Now look, take it, and with cinnamon rolls, we don't want it to be rolled out into a circle like a pie. We want it to be rolled out into a rectangle. Do you know what a rectangle is?
What?
What? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Okay, so you be careful with that. That's for your cinnamon rolls, okay? So with cinnamon rolls, like I said, we want it to be like a rectangle. And we're going to roll it out pretty thin. Think of like a 9 by, not really 9, more like an 11 by 15 rectangle. So I always start out long ways
We
Come
do
on.
it out. No, quick.
Long way. Are you doing like I'm doing?
Yep.
Did you start out long ways? Do you like to help me cook?
Yep.
Are you going to be a good cook like Mama when you get bigger?
Yep.
Are you? Nope.
Look,
Mm-mm.
this is the. Look.
Nope, it is dough, but you've got your very own. Wow, Cash. You don't need any more dough.
I need to cut it.
You need a cutter?
Yep.
Okay, can you slide back just a second? Okay, now you cut shapes, okay?
Okay.
Oh, my. This kid, he doesn't like attention
Oh
or
my.
anything.
Yeah.
Oh, my. And you can see this is getting a little not quite so rectangular, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. But keep in mind, this has 2.5 teaspoons, give or take. I didn't measure great. It may have a little more than 2.5, but it's got 2.5 teaspoons of yeast in here. So even if you roll this thin, this is gonna rise. And y'all, it's gonna be so good.
Then got
Okay, you can see it's kind of like a rectangle. Don't touch it.
It's like
Oh, don't touch it.
the,
Listen, we don't want to mess it up because we're gonna, hey, look at me.
What?
We're gonna put that brown stuff on top. Okay?
Okay.
Are you gonna help me? So don't touch this. But first, do you know what this is? Do you remember what this is from the other night?
It's butter.
It's butter. That's right. Hold on, I'm gonna do it because
Okay.
remember this is for church, so we don't want to tear it. And sometimes, you know, when you help, we get a little.
What's this, Bobby?
Don't touch it. That's the sugar. And if you stick your hands in that, your hands are going to get all sticky. Icky sticky. You know that? Can you? Here, let's let. Woo, why don't you roll yours out so we can put a little butter on yours? Want to?
Hey, Mom.
Hey, baby.
You help me roll.
No, you watched me roll. You can do it. You're a big boy.
Mommy?
Cash, do you like to eat butter?
No.
You do too.
No.
No.
What's that? What's that?
What was that, Cash?
It's Daddy's coffee.
Yes, it was Daddy's coffee. Why does Daddy need coffee at 7:30 at night, Cash? Do you know why?
You wake us up early.
You do wake us up early.
Yeah.
So y'all, I know a stick of butter seems excessive, but trust me, you won't regret it. Hey, leave it there just for a second. No, don't fall asleep. You gotta wake up. We're making cinnamon rolls.
Huh?
Huh? What?
What?
What in the world?
What? Huh? What?
What? Are you crazy? Are you saying crazy things? Here, let me hold. I'm gonna put this over here by me so we don't spill it, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Do you like to help me cook?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes. Mommy, I need more dough.
You need more dough? No, you got plenty of dough over there. You use that dough, okay?
Mommy, you help me with that dough.
Well, here, I'll help you after we get done rolling these up, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So y'all can see I have made, it's not a super thin layer by any means. Don't put your hands on the counter. We're going to sprinkle this sugar on it, okay? How'd you get flour in your hair? You're crazy. Okay, no. Okay, listen, I'm going to sprinkle it out. How's that sound?
I'm just putting
Okay, you just watch me, okay?
butter on my cinnamon roll and this on my cinnamon roll.
This is cinnamon sugar.
And you put butter on my cinnamon roll.
I did put, on your cinnamon roll.
And you
Yes.
put this on my cinnamon
Well, we
roll.
can add a little bit of this later, okay? But I saved you some butter in that bowl over there, okay? Don't touch it. So, y'all, I just dump it out. And then I just spread it around with my hands.
We just spread it with our hands. Let me help you with it.
You want to help me with it? Okay, listen, you have to be very gentle. Take just a little bit and spread it. Oh, here. We got to be very gentle, okay? Here, let me do it since it's for church. and me and you'll make these for our house, and then we can play. We don't have to be so gentle, okay? Just pat it like you do Kappa. Oh boy. Oh, okay. See, we can't do that. We got to put all this sugar on here, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I'll do it just so we don't spill anymore, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Look on this.
Yeah. And do you know what this sugar is in the middle? This is the best part, Cash. This is the filling.
I want to go.
So like Cash was showing you, we pat it in. Like we pat our dog. Like we pat our puppy Kappa. Don't we, Cash?
Yeah.
We're not mean to Kappa, are we?
Nope.
No, we love Kappa. And we love cinnamon rolls. Okay, Cash, are you ready to watch me roll it?
Yes.
Look what I'm going to do. Rub my hands. Ooh, don't touch it. Here, nope. Listen. Here, you wipe it on yours, but don't touch this because I've got to make those big swirly rolls with it, okay? So, y'all, be careful. Sometimes when you pick it up, there will be a little bit of flour. I just kind of dust it off.
The flour is on my hair.
The flour is on your hair. How did you get flour on your hair?
How did my
And y'all go slow. You want to roll it tight. At least, you know, that's what I do. You want it tight on the inside. And this part you're starting with, that's the best part. That's the ooey-gooey center. Oh, look! You made a little biscuit, didn't you, Cash?
Mommy, I'm making the little biscuit.
Are you a chef, Cash?
Nope.
I think you are.
Nope.
Are you going to grow up and cook like Mama does?
Nope.
What are you going to do?
Just play with you, Mommy.
You just going to play with me?
And just go up with you.
You're precious.
No, I just want to go. Barbecue go.
Okay. And I don't know if y'all noticed, I did not put,
Mommy.
you are so crazy. I didn't put the butter all the way to the end because I'm going to cut these ends off just to make it pretty. Yes, baby.
Get some of my milk.
You going to get some milk?
I just rolling it.
I'm just rolling it.
And what I just cut it the big roll.
You want me to cut them?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting ready to.
Mommy, what do you just put on me?
What did I put on you? Oh, you feel that ball or that clothespin? You have a clothespin holding your apron together. Because you know why? It's not an apron, it's a dish towel.
It's a dish towel.
It's a dish towel. As you can see, well, I hope you can see it. The ends down here that were kind of longer than everything, they're not pretty. So what I do, be careful.
And you just cut it with the knife.
I cut it with a knife, don't I? Here, I'll cut it. I'm afraid you'll cut yourself, okay?
Okay.
So I just trim up these ends.
What I just see with Mommy?
I'm just showing these people how to make cinnamon rolls. See, that's not a very delicious cinnamon roll.
What?
So, you're so rotten. Here, you play with this one.
Baby.
And then
with
you are playing, but just don't eat it because it's not cooked yet. And I'm just going to cut the tip off of here. And now I'm going to have an even starting line, basically.
Apron. Keep this.
You have an apron, don't you?
Hey, Mommy, what's this? That's a hard stuff.
That is cinnamon sugar. That's what we had in that bowl, that brown stuff. Remember that brown stuff? And y'all, I'm just moving this over from little hands. Try to keep your seam down. It helps when you cut it.
Mommy?
Yeah, baby.
I'm just mixing all that up.
Oh my goodness. Now, the recipe will say to cut these, put them in your pan, and put them in a 200-degree oven and turn the oven off. That is if you're going to make it, you know, tomorrow morning for breakfast. What in the world? That's crazy. Since I'm putting these in the refrigerator tonight, all I'm doing is cutting these. I'm going to put them in my pan with plastic wrap and put them in the fridge overnight. And I'm not going to do anything else. Okay, so y'all, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cinnamon rolls. And you can kind of see, these are the last ones I cut. They're kind of small. So I'm going to take, hi baby.
What do I do?
Look, here's that other cinnamon roll I cut for you.
Huh?
Huh? What?
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 That cinnamon roll. It's a little tiny.
So I'm going to take some of these big ones.
It's a little tiny one.
It is a little tiny. Well, be careful.
It's a little tiny one.
I'm going to take some of these big ones and put these little ones in the middle, because as these rise, the big ones will kind of squeeze the little ones together, and it'll look like that was meant to be. So that's my secret. And y'all can see there's nothing fancy about these. They just look, you know, swirly. That's it.
Mommy,
They're not
look.
perfectly round.
It's like Daddy.
Tell Daddy it looks like a cinnamon roll that's been squished.
Like cinnamon roll. Good.
So y'all, I'll see you in the morning. I may or may not have my hair dry or makeup on. I may look like death warmed over, but y'all will get to see me finish these and make the cream cheese icing. It's gonna be delicious. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be back. Tell them bye.
Bye.
Say you won't see me in the morning.
Don't see me in the morning.
Welcome back. It's morning time. I just got these puppies out of the fridge. I preheated my oven to 350. I wanted you to take a look. I don't know if you can see that they look fluffy. They've not risen much during the night, but just wait till we get these out of the oven. Welcome back. It's early. I'm not a morning person ever. So I haven't finished my coffee yet. My hair's a little bit on the wild side. Whatever. I just put my cinnamon rolls in the oven. I'm going to bake them for 20 minutes. While they bake, I have taken a half a stick of butter and a block of cream cheese and melted it in the microwave. See that gooiness? And all I'm going to do, I'm going to make the cream cheese icing for these amazing cinnamon rolls. I'm just going to beat this together. Nothing fancy. I don't have any tricks up my sleeve for this. And I know a lot of recipes will call for softened cream cheese and softened butter, but honestly, you pretty well get the same result if you melt them. I just forgot to leave them out last night, and I usually melt them anyway, just because I'm gonna end up pouring this all over the top of those amazing cinnamon rolls. So see, it's creamy, fluffy. This is all guesswork, by the way. I know it's gonna be in the recipe exactly how many. Y'all, I have a woodpecker on my deck. I see it out the window. But I'm just going to add some powdered sugar, and I eyeball it. So I add it, I beat it up, and then there's 2 of them. And then I'm just really looking for the consistency. You know, I don't want it to be too thick. I don't want it to be too thin. Just be careful when you add it, because if you're going too fast, it'll poof out on you. So I've got that mixed up. I'm going to add in a little bit of vanilla. Sometimes I add vanilla, sometimes I don't. I really like for that cream cheese flavor to come through. But I also like the, you know, that vanilla flavor in there. And then I'm going to add just a teeny bit of heavy whipping cream. All right, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I'll show y'all. I am gonna just basically pour this entire bowl over my pan and let it just fill in all those nooks and crannies inside of the cinnamon rolls. It's gonna be so good. So I still have another 10 minutes of having those bake. I'm going to pop this in the fridge just so it can get a little cooler. And then when we come back, we're going to ice these puppies up. Oh yeah, it's good. All right, guys, I just got these out of the oven. They look phenomenal. Check out all of that goo. Do you see that goo? Do you see that? That is why we mixed the cinnamon and sugar in the butter. Do you see that? That is a sticky mess of awesome. I got my icing out of the fridge, and this is the magic. This is what we do. Ooh. I am gonna drizzle this. Can you see? Oh yeah, you can see. I am gonna drizzle this over each each cup. What are these things called? Cinnamon rolls. I told y'all I'm not a morning person. And you can see, I mean, this is gonna be like a thick layer of icing. So not only do we have that brown sugar, cinnamon, butter goo, but now we have this layer of creamy, sweet icing. And they're just gonna kind of like marry together in the pan. The icing's gonna harden up a little bit, kind of like donut glaze. And as this entire pan cools, the brown sugar and cinnamon butter is gonna kind of mix with that. And y'all, when you scoop it out, it's just this, oh, it's just amazing. Now, a lot of recipes you'll run across, they will say to let the cinnamon rolls cool before you add the icing. I disagree. Because when you add it, when they're fresh out of the oven, this icing is going to melt down into it. And my favorite part of the cinnamon roll is that perfect little inside, that swirly, twisty center. And this icing just soaks down into it. And as it dries and like hardens and cools, it leaves like you can see where it sinks into the cinnamon rolls. So y'all don't get to see me eat it today because like I said, it's for church. Plus, I'm trying to do keto again. Hard and heavy. This icing is amazing. So, I'm going to end up posting a few pictures at the end of this video so you can see what it looks like as it cools. But I hope y'all have an awesome day. I hope you make it, taste it, tell me what you think. Because like I said, this recipe is easy and it's very forgiving, so you can't mess this up. And have a happy day.